Oh wait, I realized I couldn't see the chat, so there we go. Everybody's jumping. We got Bill, we got Chris, we got Roy. Are we live yet? There we go. My screen just turned to live, but I don't know if anyone else's did. Are we live, guys?
Tom says there we
Hey!
are, so
Hey,
I think
Tom.
that means we're live.
Okay. Sorry, I was making sure we're live. Now we're good. Okay. Awesome.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for coming over with us so quickly
Thanks
after
for joining. It's good to see so many names that were just over on our live premiere of Wicked, which is now up on the channel. For those of you who are unable to join the premiere and are here now, please go and check that out. It's one we've been very excited for, and that has been killing and kicking Greg's ass in the copyright side of things. But we had fun with it. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but just, let's get the business stuff out of the way. So tonight, we're going to kind of go a little bit all over the place with the topic, but we're sticking to just kind of some updates from us, and then we'll talk a little bit about Wicked and some things that are upcoming. So if you can kind of stay on that topic, stick to channel stuff. And then also remember to be kind and polite and nice in the comments, because if you aren't, we're going to say goodbye to you this evening. And then also a big shout out, because I see a bunch of them popping up on here. We wanted to give a big shout out to all of our channel members. I see Roy, Alejandro. Who else have I seen pop up on here? As they roll in, we'll shout them out and say hi to them. We really appreciate all of you guys joining channel memberships. Like I said, we're growing. We are looking at adding a new tier in January. All of our channel members have the fun director's chair next to them. They have officially pulled up a chair and they have joined our crew. So if you're at all interested in doing that, please go to the main page, hit join. And I'll tell you about some of our perks over there, which include voting in polls to decide what we watch next, which is great. And as well as a lot of those people are also members over on our Patreon page, which is also where we have our full cuts of our full reactions of a lot of what we have watched. So for those of you who enjoyed Wicked tonight, if you want to see all the stuff that Greg was unable to get on YouTube, go ahead and join Patreon and you can see all of that stuff. And you can watch me cry through 2 or 3 songs like the whole time. So
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's fun emojis for our members too. Roy just got one out there. That is a special video village clapboard that is there for you guys.
Love it.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Tobiah is here too.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Love it.
Okay, well, Greg, you want to kick off, or do you want to? Oh, there's another fun emoji. KB made it over here too.
There we go.
Awesome.
We're getting our people here.
We weren't sure we were going to be able to share Wicked tonight, so we're excited to be able to talk about that in a little bit, and we'll lead to that next. But we thought we were just going to be coming on here to give you guys an update that said, hi, we're here, we're in Los Angeles, we're some of the lucky people that are pretty safe and are very fortunate to have had no loss here ourselves. At the same time, it's really hard to be in LA right now because it's, you either know somebody directly who's lost everything, or it's a friend of a friend who's lost everything. And I don't even know if you guys have been watching the news and seeing the devastation. We live right by it, and I still myself haven't kind of grasped the magnitude of what's actually gone.
Yeah, you're obviously closer right now than I was, but I've lived there for over 10 years right there. And it's crazy to think about it. And I see the footage, on the news, and it's like places that that are just completely gone. And, like you said, the human toll and just the friends of friends of friends. And it's very reminiscent of early 2000s and being in New York at that time. And just, I know that's a weird thing to say, it's a different scale, but it just, in terms of the way it connects to everything that you talk to, everybody in the city knows someone going through something right now or is going through it themselves, and it's tough. And yeah.
Yeah, Clark, very sad to read that. So sorry. Feel free. We did start on one of our community pages. We put in some links of some places that are doing donations or good places to donate money if you so feel that way. But if you're inclined to go ahead, if your friends have started GoFundMe pages or anything, feel free to also post it on that community post as well, because that's just how we're gonna get through this. I mean, that's the craziest thing is just how much I've seen people come together, people posting on social media, other people's GoFundMe pages where they can donate, where they can bring stuff. I think, I donated some stuff this weekend, went to Target, just bought new stuff because nobody wants hand-me-downs right now, like, especially pretty poor quality hand-me-downs. I've definitely sorted through those. I worked with a company and was able to go through those donations and sort them out so we could make like this the company made this amazing boutique that people could come shop. Like they get, they're bringing in families, 2 or 3 families at a time so that they can shop in a nice environment and it's all curated for them and they have access to new clothes and it's all divided into sections and all these toiletries and everything. And then after we got that all, sorted so for them to set up, we started making kits for the firefighters. Had an amazing assembly line going to get all that kind of stuff made for the firefighters and everything. So that was great. But it's a long haul. This is just the beginning. As of right now, I know the winds have picked up, but Greg, you're good. No more warnings for you, right? No more power outages.
Yeah, today was the big one. The winds were supposed to really pick up today, and there was an increased warning for the whole valley. But I didn't notice a big pickup in the winds, thankfully. So maybe that passed. But I mean, we're where I am is pretty secure, so I'm not too worried. There were a couple days there where it looked like we might have to leave because it was getting a little too close, but we stayed. And yeah, the worst for me was the power going out. We lost power and internet, and it was that was the winds, not the fires necessarily, but also all of the crews are obviously working on more important issues at the time. So when something happened, there was a lot, and that made editing this video even more fun. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, we won't get into the side of it about what was available and what wasn't. I think that this fire was bigger than anybody expected it to be, and I don't even think if they were prepared for it, they still would have had enough. Based on what I'm seeing from friends who are engineers and who specifically work with like water and what they're commenting on their social media has been very interesting. So um it sucks. I hope that the relief gets to where it needs to go. I mean, I had a friend crash with me on Wednesday night because of the Sunset Fire in
mhm.
Hollywood. Um, so luckily I had a spare room and they only needed it for one night, thankfully. But there's a lot of people that were scrambling and to find a place to live. And
Well, that was the
yeah,
one. Yeah, that was.
KB, it's
Oh,
the
go ahead.
wind picked up. The wind picked up. The temperatures are fine. It was 70 down here where I am, but I'm closer to the water, so it's like a cool 70.
Mhm. It's it was colder today in the valley. I'm in the valley, so that was a little chillier. But like I said, we were warned. Everybody was warned. All the alerts were going off for high winds today, and elevated fire. So hopefully things turned in our favor. So that would be great because the city needs it, and hopefully they can get things under control over the next couple days. But at least it seemed to be what I was hearing, that if we made it through today without any major outbursts, then we should be pretty good going forward. So hopefully that's the case and not erroneous.
I'm just looking forward to being able to take the Watch Duty app off of my phone finally.
Yep. Well,
Looking
it's
forward to that.
yeah, I mean, whatever. I always laugh in times like these and this, but it's like my mom put that on her phone. She lives in New York, and she's sending me updates off of that, all like telling
Yeah.
me what it's like anytime we have an earthquake that's like a 4.0 or 5, everybody in New York, oh my God, were you in that earthquake? Are you? I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing with the fires. Everybody's asking. I'm like, I'm good. Like, be grateful that I'm in a good spot, but like there are others that aren't. But I don't need those constant updates from
Yeah.
people
I mean,
2,000 miles away.
I definitely use this time to update my earthquake pack.
Mhm.
There was definitely some stuff that was out of date. Yeah,
Oh,
Tobiah, that's just the smart thing to do right now to keep the bags ready.
yeah, we have ours by the door. ready to go. But yeah, I am woefully underprepared. I used to be much better, but all that food expired, like you said. I didn't even think about that.
You
Um,
kinda gotta set an alarm to remind yourself to, like, in your calendar, an alert to, like, "This is when the food's gonna go bad, so I need to restock it."
yeah, yeah. I did not. I think my emergency kit was from like the second year I moved out to LA, like so expired by like a decade probably. When I was looking at it, I was like, "Oh, this is fine," and I was like, "Oh
M
no, it's not."
mine wasn't that bad, but I have, a bunch of MREs in the garage that my dad gave me, like, and I could not find the expiration dates on them.
I don't think they have
I
them.
They don't?
I
I
don't
think
think
the
so.
MREs do. Really?
I mean, they
I mean,
must. They
they
must.
have to,
They must. But
so
I think they're like decades in terms of how long they can last.
okay, well,
But
then I'm fine there.
yeah,
But got all my batteries, rechecks and stuff, got a few of the little things to stock in it, but overall it's good. But, so it was kind of, it's one thing, like, it's to see everybody kinda come together and, help one another, it doesn't really matter, like, anything else right now, and
no,
so,
agreed.
it
There's always, I'm always astounded by how much kindness and goodness in people there are in times like these. I mean, we focus on the darkness and that kind of thing, but you see strangers helping strangers left and right all over this city, which on a normal day when things aren't crazy, you don't even interact with people you don't want to interact with in such a big city. Yet here you have, like I said, people who don't know each other going out of their way to try to help just because they need it, and that can be uplifting if you focus on that kind of stuff. And I think that's helpful.
Roy, I'm about to remove you from the chat. I need something positive.
Well, yeah, yeah, no, exactly. It's
Like,
about like there are you know wonderfully tragic but heroic stories happening all around it in this time. There are also um, incredible darkness happening, and so it's just what you choose to focus on and what you can focus on. Some people don't have a choice right now, which is the hard thing. The people that have lost everything, they're fighting it right now, and yeah,
there's a great, I wouldn't say great, but so there was a comedian, oh my gosh, just Pete, I forget his name. Did you see it? He was on Jimmy Fallon the other night, and he had lost his home, and they asked him, like, do you still want to come on or not? And he's like, no, he wanted to. He lost his place in the Palisades, and he does a whole bit on it, and he goes, I just wrote jokes in the middle of it all, and it was pretty, it was laughing through the tears.
yeah,
But he was also talking about, like, going out and meeting some chick. Right now if he goes out and they say, like, your place or mine, he's like, yours, because you're part of my plan now.
yeah. Oh,
So
yeah. It's wild, and it's certainly not the way we wanted to start 2025. That's for sure. With the channel, we were supposed to be on our third release by this point, but everything is obviously slowed down. So, but we will be getting back on track. But yeah, that's
I
what
think
I've heard,
Jamie Lee
JP.
I think Jamie Lee Curtis is okay out of that list.
Okay, I know.
Yeah,
I heard about Billy and Mark,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't know about the other. I think Mandy Moore's relatives lost homes. I don't know if Mandy did.
It's most of her house, yeah.
Yeah.
It's most of
Um,
hers, and yeah. So but all this to say, if you do have it in you to, like, check out some of these sites to support, like, the firefighters and first responders and some of these other organizations that are doing, like, hands-on stuff right away, because that's what's actually needed right now. Is it's the monetary donations and things like clothes, all that kind of stuff. It's they don't need that anymore, trust me. But it's more of the other stuff. So and then again, for those of you who do know people affected, feel free to share on our community page that we put the posts of, like, some of those sites that we know are accepting donations, like GoFundMe pages too. So, but we were kind of glad to find, like, a little ray of, hey, let's kind of get back and and watch the movies and have a little bit of escapism, so it was kind of fun that, we could watch Wicked tonight and watch it live with you guys, so thanks for those of you who are on the live that were able to join, and those of you who weren't, hopefully you'll catch it after.
Yeah, I it came out better than I expected after all the headaches that I went through, and it's kind of what Des and I were talking about right before came on camera. It's it's tough when you edit something because I spent, while all stuff is happening, I'm trying to edit this 2.5 hour movie, and that I know is going to get killed by copyright. So I'm trying to be very judicious in where I'm cutting. But I think my first cut was about 15 minutes longer, so there was probably a lot of fat that could have been trimmed. But I spent a good amount of time. I mean, it takes me almost a week to edit these movies, and that one took me almost a week and a half with all the power and other issues going on.
Still
And
less
then
than
when
Deadpool.
oh, that's true, Deadpool, yeah, but anyway, like once the copyrights start coming in, it was crazy how much. I think I went through 8 different cuts before we finally got one approved. I think this was lucky number 8, might be lucky number 7. But
I think you were in the teens at Deadpool.
yeah, Deadpool was a different thing. That's where the watermark did a lot of work for us because I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, it was tough. So I was bummed because I liked the first cut, especially in terms of the songs. But Des was saying how because she didn't see the first cut because no one does. It's just my thing. This one works. So I was glad. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you,
you got
KB. I'm
the
glad. I'm glad
yeah.
because I don't know
You
how to avoid it. I'm
you
trying.
got the flow of it. It's, you're not gonna be able, especially with songs, you're not gonna be able to keep everything in. And
Yeah,
especially with songs that are on the radio right now.
that's the thing. In a movie that is being, as we talked about in the outro, pushed for Oscars and awards and all of that. So they're definitely keeping it on lockdown, which as they should, because they want as many people to see it in the theater as they can.
Well,
And
yeah, and remember too, like, the Deadpool one that ended up happening after the fact was Bye Bye Bye, and Bye 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 had a big resurgence because of the movie.
yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting, but I just wasn't sure how I was going to react to this movie seeing it. Like when I was excited to do it because I do like or musicals, as we've talked about. I've come to really like them in the last like decade of my life, but
Mhm.
I hadn't seen this one, and I didn't expect to like Ariana Grande very much, to be honest, and I thought she was delightful. I didn't know anything about Cynthia, and she was amazing. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing really to draw me into it, and then it was
Mhm.
great. And now I have to not read or watch or think about this movie or anything for a year to try to keep it fresh because I don't. I mean, I know how it ends because I know The Wizard of Oz, but I don't know how it ends. Although I have plenty of
Right.
theories now, plenty of theories.
I'm actually, because of how much time you spend editing, I'm actually surprised that during the edit, you weren't texting me with some theories,
I
as you were doing the edit, because of how often you have to repeat things, and there's so many good one-liners
I can't wait to
that
see how
yeah.
many actually made. Like, I wonder if I cut some not knowing what they were. I'm sure I did. I must have.
Oh, I saw a couple tonight, and I was surprised that you didn't all of a sudden go, "Oh, 2." I saw 2 big ones.
Okay, that's gonna be fun. We're gonna have to go back through that when this comes out. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, KB. Yeah, that's the thing. In my head, my goal when I was, or my guideline when I was editing this, thinking that it would work, and I was way wrong, was that if I only used one line of the song, one line, not even the full line, and kind of cut off the runs at the end, and then it would be fine as long as the next line that we saw in the reaction was like from a couple lines later or even the next stanza later. It didn't work. Anything back to back got nixed. Like if there was more than 5 seconds of music, even if that music was cut up without us interrupting it, was just not happening.
Yeah.
But and surprisingly, the scene that gave me the most trouble wasn't even a musical scene, and I couldn't figure it out. I still don't know why, but
You
it's
didn't
that
tell me which scene was it?
that scene with, I'm gonna mess up his name, with Bach. Is it
Bach?
Bach?
You did it. You did it.
Shaking the governor's hand, talking with Nessa Rose. Like it's literally
Perfect.
3 seconds, but that one kept getting flagged, and I kept blurring it and cutting it. It wasn't even longer. It was just like finally it went through, but I have no idea why that scene in particular was such a headache, but as songs, it was
Wait, is
popular.
it Bork or is it Bach?
I think it's Bach, right?
He kept calling it Bork. I thought it
Oh
was
no,
Bach.
Bork, I think is wrong. I'm almost positive. I
Yeah.
wish if
Okay, it's
KB.
Bach. It's just that you kept calling him Bork.
Oh, okay. KB, I wish there were, and there probably is, but I don't think I could do that without the original audio file. Like when it comes together all mixed, I can't. At least I don't know how to use
I
my
think the
breathing.
singing I think the singing will still ding you because it's the
Probably.
melody. It's the melody.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. I screwed it up the whole movie. I still screw it up, but
And I can't believe you didn't know that that's Ariana Grande's new guy.
no clue. And you said, I noticed it in the edit that you pointed out as soon as we saw it. You called him Ariana's new man. When you said that in the
You
reaction,
didn't.
I heard it, but I was thinking you meant in the movie. I was like, oh, they're gonna end up like dating in the movie. I was so confused by that. I was like, I don't think she dates a munchkin. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, it was fun and it was interesting to put it together. But yeah, exactly, Bill.
Yeah, same, Alejandro. I think the last time I saw it was at least 12 years ago, if not longer. And then Greg was going to go see it, and I said, "Please don't."
Yeah,
I said, "Please don't go see it," because I really wanted him to go into it blind.
it was playing in LA through December. I think it might still be here the last week, but that's what I was. We were trying to go to that, but
You can't. You can't.
yeah,
It's like I really think you'll have a better appreciate like, 1, I just think the reaction will be so much better if you don't know, and then but what'll be funny is when you do finally see it, it'll be different because part 2, I think, is gonna have 2 new songs at least,
okay. Well, yeah, that's what you just
and
said.
that
You were saying you think there's going to have to be, right? Because
I think there are. I think that's when they're gonna go ahead and, uh I think that's when they're gonna go ahead and 'cause they wanna have an Os they wanna nominate, like, have an Oscar for best song, and they can't do
yeah.
that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's right. They need an original.
Yeah, they need an
Um,
original song for the Oscars, so
okay.
can you imagine, like, they're about to have the Oscars well, who knows what's gonna happen with the Oscars right now, but, and they're like, "We have Ariana Grande and Cynthia." They're probably trying to figure out a way to get them to sing because they're not gonna be singing for the song portion.
Yeah, they're going to have them perform, and maybe it'll be for Best Picture. Like that's how they'll introduce. Do you know how? Because they show clips of the movie throughout the ceremony before they give the award. Maybe it'll be that instead of showing the clip. Like there'll be clips playing while they sing a song from it.
Mm.
Because it's going to get. I don't think it's going to win, but I think it's definitely going to get nominated because it can do up to 10 now, right? I think. I think they can nominate up to 10 Best
Okay.
Pictures, but which they expand. I don't know. It was like 6 years ago they expanded it just to get blockbusters in to try to get people to watch the ceremony. They're like,
Mm.
yeah, we'll throw a bunch of Best Picture nominations to movies like Star Wars that we know is not going to win, but you know,
Yeah.
um,
Aren't they wait, KB, what do you mean, aren't they tying The
ooh,
Wizard of Oz?
maybe there's going to be more of Dorothy in the movie than there was in the show, kind of thing.
Well, probably because they're allowed to use her now,
Yeah,
or they got permission from MGM. What's the studio that has it?
I
Or
thought
they
it was
weren't allowed to
MGM.
do.
Wasn't it MGM? I always thought Wizard of Oz was MGM. I don't
I
think
thought
it
it
was
was because it's
Universal.
no, it wasn't Universal. That's no, but they're giving different permissions. And I think I don't know. I got to
It's all
read up more. I got to read up more on that because there's a lot of stuff that they were able to put into the movie that movie Wicked that wasn't in the musical.
I should know this, but do movies go into public domain after 100 years, like books? Like, so is Wizard of Oz getting close to public domain? Like, I know the book is, but I don't know if the movie is. I wonder. I never did entertainment law, so I don't know the answer to that. But I feel like movies can't, like, they must hold on to the rights beyond
I feel like
100
I know this answer, but right now I'm too tired to.
years. Okay.
'Cause I know Disney no, there's some Disney cartoons that are about to go into it, and that's why we're about to have a bunch of Disney thrillers, like
That's
horror
right.
movies.
That's right. Okay. Huh.
Clark, yeah, I hope you enjoy it because also I think it's really funny that you read the book, because the book and the musical Wicked are very different from each other.
Yeah, you're gonna have to leave us a comment, Clark, and let us know.
Yeah, Roy, 39.
Yeah, so we're not that close, but 14 years seems. I mean, the way these last 14 years flew by, we'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, I didn't really yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
think I'm excited. I'm bummed that we have to wait. I think they've already released the date, so but I'm bummed we have to wait a year. Um, hopefully I'm hopeful that the Oscars, when they do, like, funny skits and stuff, that they don't spoil some of the things to come. That's why I can't show you the clip. There's some clips I wanna show you of the musical that I can't show you because it really does ruin
Ruin. Okay.
2 people, so
Okay. Ooh, interesting. Um, yeah,
oh, yeah,
because
okay, Steamboat Willie gets hit first, okay.
that's right. Anyway, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad people seem to like it, so that was good. Because the worst thing is when you put in all that time editing something and everyone's no one watches it. That's always like, oh, sad trombone, but oh well.
I
Oh
did my best
well.
to not sing out loud and only lip sync because I know a lot of people were going to theaters going like, "Don't sing."
That's true, but that's in a theater. I feel like in a reaction you could have sung. Part two, I will say you're allowed to sing because I'm not going to hear it anyway with the headphones in.
Yeah, but I think the first time I wanna hear them,
That's true. That's true.
you know? And I wouldn't do it at a musical unless it was like, they have designated sing-alongs, like, do it. I wanna hear them.
Yeah. No,
But I
I
will still
did.
I'm still sticking by it. Defying Gravity was too long.
Well, it was. We looked it up. Wasn't it like 15 minutes or 16 minutes, something like that, compared to like 6 minutes on the
Like
stage?
10 minutes longer. And
Yeah,
I was talking about this with somebody else who had seen it and had been waiting for me to see it. But
Rocky Horror. That's right. They
I
did.
wish they would have ended it sooner, Defying Gravity as well, because you end it like right after Adina hits those or Elphaba in the musical, right after she hits those three like like can't do it right now, you guys bad, but it's like lights out. Like and I mean
Oh,
she's
okay.
going up and it's lights out and I love that. And instead they cut away and then she's flying off, which I just really would have loved it if they had just done it there with her and really because I don't really remember her final notes and she's so good. And I think it takes away from her vocal performance those last shots and I really wish they would have kept it a little bit more true to a musical versus being we're in a movie now.
That's interesting. I see what you're saying, and
Yeah.
I think they. I wonder if they added that ending after because they were set up for that to be the last shot. They had the look. They have Goldblum and Ariana on the looking out, windswept as she's just about to hit that note. Like it did look like the camera was even moving. Like I wonder if maybe there was a version of the script or of the film where that is where it ended, and then someone's
Maybe,
like,
but I'm
no,
when
we
you
need
see the
the
musical, there is no way the first time you see that musical you are looking anywhere but her. And that's the fun thing about musicals because like I remember in school when we used to have to like go watch a musical for part of like our homework or something. The key was is you were supposed to start looking for like other people and paying attention and that there's so much stuff going on stage that your eye can be darted to whatever place it is.
Mhm.
But there are certain shows and certain moments in those shows where you are that you can't keep your eye off of one person, and that was the moment, and I think it kinda got taken away a little bit.
I hear you. Yeah, that was crazy what Nikita said about her training to be able to sing like that in the harness, which I didn't realize. That was nuts.
Well, and I forgot to talk about that too because she did all of her own stunts, and
Mhm.
that's a theater person right there because in theater, you don't have anybody else to come in and do your stunts. Like, in very few cases is there somebody else, like, they're like, "Okay, now you're doing this." Like, it is you are doing it. So, and sticking true to, like, the musical part of it, I can see that, but That's what a lot of singers do. Like, a lot of singers who go on tour, that go on
Mhm.
tour for crazy like, that's I'm sure her schedule is very similar to that in order to keep that up. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, I can see that. All the performances they need to give on stage for night after night after night, for sure. The twice on Saturdays, I think, which
I
is
d
nuts.
right? The 8 shows, dark on Mondays.
Hmm.
I did like and I didn't notice it as much the first time because I was just so happy to see I knew Adina and Kristen were making their cameos in Emerald City. I was really excited to see them, but I they got her alphabet notes in there, which I thought was really cool. I didn't really notice it the first time.
Yeah, no, that was great. I
Um,
definitely expected them the whole way, and as soon as I heard the PA announcer introduce, the Oz City players or whatever they were, I knew they were coming, just because it seemed good. But it reminded me so much of the Thor movies with every time they go
what
back to Asgard with with Matt Damon and
yeah,
what's
and
his
they
name?
do that, yeah.
Yeah.
I I give you full permission to listen to act 1 only of Wicked musical, so you can go back and now and listen to the original cast and just see kind of where they made some changes, but then also where you're listening to going like, "Oh, they really did honor them in the way that they kept this in."
Okay. No, I definitely will have to do that. Yeah, I the thing that stood out that I noticed a lot in the edit, which I did notice in the moment but didn't appreciate as much, is what you pointed out. The Whenever Ariana did the Chenoweth little growl in her music, like there are a couple things, and there were a couple that hit the floor that bothered me. So I was trying to keep them in, but that was great. Like her channeling ability to Chenoweth. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Was great,
Yeah,
but oh,
yeah. Yeah, I figured they were gonna be in it. I was watching a talk show and they kind of Kristen didn't give it away, but, like, did give it away, like, 'cause she's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, and she, like, played coy. So I knew she was gonna be in it. So, I was like, "Well, if
awesome.
she's in it, Adina's in it." So,
Yeah. Oh. All right. I am gonna go
hold
eat.
on, before you go, look at that KB fact coming in strong with KB. It's always got the
Oh,
facts.
love it. KB, you're the man. Everybody's the man.
Yeah.
But KB, you're always bringing the facts. I love it. But
Well, yeah, so I think, we'll go ahead and call it a night. This is gonna be a short one because we have just been this week has been exhausting, so I'm just
yes,
glad we were able to do a live at all.
and I have to try to get our
Um,
next Patreon up if I can tonight or tomorrow. So that's coming.
yeah,
And I want to eat
so
before I do that. That's the main thing. But
yeah, so hopefully, maybe Friday we might have something because this was later than we thought, but we might have something on Friday. Maybe
yeah,
we'll
it's
premiere it when we're together.
yeah, that's
We
that's
might be together.
hopefully the plan. We are shooting Friday some more reactions. Chris is gone, but we're shooting one that Chris
I
has
know, where'd
requested for
Chris
a
go?
while.
Yeah,
But that's fine. He'll catch it later. So we are doing that, and if
yeah.
all goes well, if I can really nail this editing time Wednesday and Thursday, we should be able to premiere it Friday. But I haven't even started it, so I'm a little. But yeah,
But it's a shorter one,
it's a short
so
one, and it's going to be
and
fun.
Greg, I give you full permission to butcher it and edit yours. Edit
Thank
it
you,
down. Edit it
thank you.
down. It's
I don't.
fine.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna knock on wood. There's no music in this one that's gonna trip me up. It's gonna be the movie itself, and I feel like I'm good at that now.
I
Like,
actually think there's 2 pieces of music that could potentially so just
now that you say that, that's true. But there's
right
also,
when you said it, I said, "Just don't say it. Just don't say
but
it out
unlike
loud."
unlike Wicked, that's the other thing. Like there are very few that I've seen Wicked reactions out there. So I had nothing to go off of. Whereas with this movie that we're gonna do, there's a lot that I can be like, oh, that's how they got around. Like I can figure out how they cut certain things. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, thank you, Tom. I'm gonna need it. But yeah, we are going to try to go back to a more normal posting schedule. But for the next week or two, I want to get as much out as I can. So we want to finish The Two Gentlemen. We want to get the next movie we have already ready to come. So those might come out at random days compared to the Friday, but then we'll get into our resume our regular pattern. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
But anyway, thank you
Yeah.
all
Thanks, you
for
guys.
everything. You guys are
And
great.
and for those
Eh,
of you who have a long weekend coming up, I hope you enjoy it. And, again, please check out our memberships, check out our Patreon. We are going to be adding more stuff over there. Like Wicked was, our full reaction was out on both of those channels before it was here. And more to come. And really excited to jump into some shows this year too.
yes, that's gonna be
So,
fun. We gotta. Well, we've talked about it before. We're gonna do Band of Brothers. That's gonna be our first new one. That we're very excited. We haven't started it yet, but we are going to knock them out pretty quick.
yep.
It's gonna be fun.
Yep. And
But
then hopefully they'll release a date soon for The Last of Us season
we
2.
just know it's April, right, or
No, now
March.
it says TBD again.
Oh,
I saw another release today and it was TBD.
okay.
It said spring TBD.
Okay. Oh well. Well, at least it's not February. That's what I was thinking it was going to be, and I was a little worried. But so that's good.
Yeah.
But cool. But until then,
Well,
guys, we will see you.
see you, everybody. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Take care.